So earlier I did some YouTube shorts talking about the newest Piggy graphic novel. Now I'm going to give like my full opinion on the book because it's good. I also do have the first novel there just because, in case we need it. But already this book is way better than Entity and every other novel. Like, I have a video planned because looking back, the novels are actually really bad. They're lazy, the stories just are terrible. And the story in this book is weird. It's all over the place, but I'm fine with that. It's not boring because of how much is happening at once. With the normal novels, there's nothing happening. You got the characters just going to the store, then you're going back to the store because you need more food from... It's just the same stuff in those books. This one is way more unique compared to the last book. Now, there are some chase scenes, a lot of chase scenes, but they're all different and they're all chaotic, which is something I can't say about the novels. They're just very slow-paced. The characters, you can't really get into the characters. They don't really show you much of the characters. They're just boring. They're just rip-offs of already existing characters. Billy and Badgie in the book are just rip-offs of Zizzy and Pony, but done terribly. Ollie is a ripoff of George. He's done okay, but then at the, would say maybe the second book, he's kind of useless. He does nothing. He's kind of there, kind of like what they did with Georgie in the actual game. He just became nothing, just a random side character. Ben is better than Player, I will say that. Ben is better than the Player because, unlike Player, he actually does stuff. Not much, but he does stuff. But yeah, the novel series was just not that good. And there's a lot of mistakes in those books. It's very odd. They're okay. I'm not saying I completely hate the novels. I do like them. Because I remember when the first one was found, before the cover was even revealed, everyone was wondering if this was a real novel or not. And I was excited, hoping it was real. And I just have all those memories still of this novel. So that's why I have a place in my heart for them, even if they are pretty bad looking back at them. But the graphic novels are done way better because there's not a story you need to follow. And this is something I was hoping we would have, but now that I'm thinking about it, we don't really need a storyline for these books. I want them to kind of act like FNAF books, where it's just random little stories within the Piggy universe here that don't need to be connected. Obviously we know this book is not canon to the game. That's kind of obvious. But this book is obviously canon to this book, but there's no storyline. It's just random adventures they go on, which I'm completely fine with. That's not a problem at all. If they just do random little stories with Willow and Cammy, I would love that more than a book series where it's just one long story that just drags on for way too long. The main novel series dragged on for way too long. We didn't need 4 books. 2 of them would have been fine. The third book, in my opinion, is the worst book because it is just so boring. There's nothing happening. It's the same stuff over and over again. That's just my main issue with those books. One thing I love about this book is it, one, looks way better, artwork-wise. I like the artwork in the first, 2 novels, but then it just kind of goes downhill. They just don't have as much artwork. If you look at the newest novel, Entity, compared to Infected, you can see there's a lack of artwork, and that's a problem I have. Is there's just a lack of artwork. Because actually, the artwork is good. There's just a lack of artwork. But this book is covered in artwork. Just look at all this. There's so much here. It is amazing. That's what I love about these books. There's so much there to look at. A lot of little Easter eggs to the game. And then the novels just don't really have much there. The best pieces of artwork is the front cover of these books. They look good. And I really hope when the next novel comes out, I hope it's not connected to this story. I hope it's going to be something new, which it is looking like it's something new, but I don't want them to have a long story that drags on. I'm fine if they do a story as long as it doesn't drag on and they don't go to the same location 24/7. I want each book to be the same story, but I want a whole bunch of different locations and characters in each book. Like this book, we got a lot of new characters who aren't even characters from the main game, and I'm fine with that. There's no characters in this book that appear in the main game besides Willow and Pandy. From what I remember, they're all original characters, and I'm not even mad about that. I know some people probably want like characters like Taggery to show up, but to be honest, I would much rather have original characters than a whole bunch of characters that we already know. I want more characters that we can talk about. Like in the book, we have this Mo guy who is a completely new character, and I like that. I love the new characters here. Their designs are also really cool. Now, one thing in my shorts I mentioned is I was not, like, very pleased. I wouldn't say pleased. It was odd that they just immediately start the book with Willow and Cammy in a random forest looking for a greenhouse. I thought that was odd that it didn't connect after the last book here, which, looking back at that, I'm fine with it. Like I said now, I'm fine with it, and I'm not mad that it doesn't connect right after this book. Like, it doesn't need to connect right after. It can be just a little fun story, and that's what it is, and that's what I'm very happy about. Compared to these, where if you don't really buy the first few novels, you're not going to know what's happening. Now, yes, they do kind of give a little rundown, but it's like always the same rundown each time, and I don't know, I feel like they don't really tell you much. But with this, yeah, it just throws you in. It might be confusing. Like, you might be like, did I miss something in the first novel? But you don't, which is fine. Like, I was hoping it would continue right after this book, but now, like I said, it doesn't need to. It never needed to. It can just be a little random story between these two, because there is no real story here. Like, there was never a story in Permanent Detention. It was just Willow and Cammy just helping each other out, learning each other, and running away from Piggy. That's pretty much all it was. And that's kind of what this one is as well. It's them learning more about each other, building their friendship, and running away from Piggy and a whole bunch of other zombie infecteds. And in the process, meeting other new characters. Now, by the looks of things, the next book will continue after this one, because the end, it shows, where's it at? Very, very end, right? Like the very, very end, yeah. Willow gets a box, and it has a missing poster for Cammy, where it says, if you've seen this girl, if you see Cammy, tell her to go to Grandma's cabin. So I'm guessing next book will be us, or them, there's no player in this book, them going to the cabin. But I am guessing in the middle of them going, Piggy is once again going to be chasing them, having another wacky story happen. That's my prediction, which I'm not going to be mad. Because if we have Piggy driving a tank again, I ain't going to be complaining about anything. Look, let's go back. Where is the part where she's in the tank? Because, yeah, she does drive a tank in this book. Yeah, right here. If we get more stuff like this, I'm all in for it. And we know we're definitely getting more novels. I mean, one, it basically confirmed here at the end. But in an interview with the writer, I think it was writer of the novels, they confirmed there will be more. So now let's kind of just go a bit through the story. It starts off, like I said, Willow and Cammy finding a greenhouse for some plant because there's some rash happening with the kindergarteners. So then they realize, oh, yeah, the plant died. Womp womp. And they know someone who has the plant, so they go try to find the guy in the desert, and Willow has to give up her comic book for the plant. And then, oh no, Piggy is alive after falling off an entire cliff, I should mention. And then it just kind of starts the whole Piggy getting her little group of minions to help chase down Cammy and Willow, who look badass here. Damn. Not much really happens here until they see Piggy chasing them, and then they go on this chase scene, which isn't an annoying chase scene like the chase scene in, I want to say, Hunt Was it Hunt or The Cure, where they had that stupid outfit chase that literally led to nothing? It led to nothing. It was such a waste in the book. But this, it wasn't. It was actually a fun little chase scene. I really enjoyed it. Then eventually they get away from Piggy, and now they're looking for a way to fuel up the car until some punk guys, they had names. Like, oh, they, Buggy Boys? The mole guy gave them a name. But basically they kidnap Willow and Cammy and take them to their little base with the walking, talking nerd emoji. So basically they take them to him, and he locks them in a freezer. He's trying to kill a child, and she's an adult, so like, at least she got to live a good bit through her life. Cammy though, she's a child. That's way different. Then they're locked in the freezer for a bit, then they break out, and then they go ahead, and turns out Piggy is arriving, because Piggy is just insane in this book, like really insane. She arrives with her little car and minions, and now, yeah, our group of friends here have to run away again. But first they need to get the book back that the mole guy stole. Also, look how much of a goofer this is. He's so goofy. They eventually do get the stuff back, and that's pretty much that. That's over. Willow and Cammy run away. Piggy murders some people, and then she gets in the freaking tank. Penny knows how to drive a tank. Remember, she's a child. They're driving for a bit, and then Piggy arrives, and then she freaking shoots a fireball, or like, no, cannonball. I don't know. She shoots at them, trying to completely destroy them. Like, forget about infecting them. No, she's trying to full and murder these two now. Then Piggy ends up falling into a ditch, and, yeah. I just knocked over the book. Piggy falls in the ditch, and you think Willow and Cammy are fine, but no, coincidentally, the bike has a problem. Uh-oh. So then they're back to running. Then eventually they're in a cave, and you might think they're safe, but, as we learned before, Piggy just has that AI where she knows where you are at all times, and she found them. They get in a minecart, so you think, okay, Penny can't get them now because they're in a minecart. But then somehow Penny gets her own minecart and goes after them. Like I said, this girl is a beast in these books. Then you go to this little area where Piggy is about to get Willow, but Cammy uses her little book she has to stop Piggy, and then they block her off, and now Piggy is trapped. Then we get to the part which I don't understand still, unless I missed something. They're walking through the desert. They find a random house. There's a random woman here who gives Willow a box, and they have their bike all of a sudden, which the bike broke, but they have it now. And like, these two are just there, like, that now this girl has a book. So like, I'm confused. What is this meaning? Why does she just have a book here? Did Willow give this woman that book she had for the box and a bike? Like, how does she know this girl had a 2-seater bike? Why is this girl in the middle of a desert in the first place? Like, they don't really explain. Like, there's no dialogue here, and then they just drive off. And the next scene, they're just already back to the place. And then they also have the medicine, which I guess that's, yeah, okay, yeah, so that was what's in the box. Why did this random bear woman, though, have a box of the medicine? Like, this wasn't the girl from the beginning. Or no, like, this wasn't the same person, I don't think. This is just a random person. Like, we never see this guy. Now, he does say, we've been willing to trade it for anything entertaining. So, I guess he lives with that girl, and she's gonna give, like, I don't know, I guess it's a group of people. And for some reason, instead of him taking the book himself, it's a random bear. Like, it's kind of confusing. I was expecting this guy to come out and take the book. But then where did the bike come from? Like, they don't really explain it. I'm just trying to piece together what I think happened. This guy just was too lazy to come outside, and he just made his random girl go outside and grab the book for him. And she also had a bike, which the deal had nothing to do with them getting a bike. It was just he gives them the ointment, she gives him the book. Where the heck does the bike come in at? Because like it's such an odd interaction. These are just staring at each other, and there's just a bike in the middle. Like, what is happening? And where did they get the clothes from? There's so much that I'm asking, because they don't explain it. But yeah, they end up giving the ointment to the kid, and turns out, they were rolling around in poison ivy. Idiot kids. So then obviously Willow's mad, because she had to drive all the way out there, nearly dying. But hey, in the end, this little tiger woman, who looks like Tigery, is very happy that she gets a little box. She puts it on her head. I love the kindergarteners in these books. They just act so stupid, and I love it. They're so cute. Then we get to the end where all the paper that the tiger woman threw is the thing saying, "Have you seen this girl? If you see Cammy, tell her to head to Grandma's cabin." And then the book ends. So overall, I'm dropping my phone. Overall, this book was actually great. I had a fun time reading this. It was just so wacky. I love it. That's what I love to see from Piggy. More wacky content instead of just store. Let's go to the store again. I like seeing more wackiness from Piggy, and this book's just good. I recommend it. I gave this book a 10. This book might also be another 10. They're both so good. They're perfect.